Hello and welcome to this essential telemarketing skills online training series of webinars. My name is Jonathan Silverman and I run a company called GSA Business Development Limited, and what we do is we offer telemarketing for our clients and we provide training for them as well. So we hope you enjoy this series of telemarketing skills training and tips. So let's look at the objectives for our online training series. Ultimately, what we'd love to see is we'd love to see you generate new business appointments for your business and gain more commitment from your telemarketing exercise. We'd like to help you to effectively use the phone as a sales tool for your business because it can be extremely effective. And we hopefully will provide some new approaches and techniques and perhaps enhance a few of the old ones that you've been using. And teach you to understand how to build relationships on the phone. Without building rapport and relationships on the phone, it's unlikely you'll sell very much. And equally, hopefully you will sound less scripted while on the calls and a bit more natural. What are we going to cover in this series? Well, there are a number of topics that we're going to cover. And these include today's topic, which is customer benefits versus features. In other words, how to focus on the customer rather than on your products or services. The second webinar in the series will talk about compelling and natural language as opposed to sounding stilted and scripted. We'll deal with gaining decision maker attention and the all-important effectiveness of an opening statement in your ability to deliver an outcome. We'll look at different styles of communication. Everybody's different, everyone responds to different things. Very importantly, you need a call structure. They say fail to plan equals plan to fail. That's very much the case when you're doing telemarketing. We'll also look at these two important topics that go hand in hand. Effective questioning, the ability to ask good questions, and without listening skills, it's almost pointless because the customer knows that you're not interested. We will look at some gatekeeper techniques to get through those very, very difficult Rottweilers who keep your prospect at bay. And again, we'll look at building rapport with decision makers. And finally, two very important topics: objection handling techniques and how to close for more business. So that's the series of webinars we're going to cover. We hope you enjoy them. Now, how can you get the most from the training? Fairly obvious. Have a pad and pen ready at the hand to take notes and jot down the things that you think are key for you. Make sure that you action what we're talking about. There's no point in coming on these webinars if you're not actually sticking to it and doing something with it. And that means using the skills, using the materials as a reference point, maybe watching the video again and again if it's particularly relevant for you or somewhere where you struggle. But please don't procrastinate. Make sure you get on the phone and use the skills, otherwise nothing will happen. And practice. Fail a bit, practice with your colleagues, do some role playing, get one of them to play the prospect, get one of them to play the gatekeeper, but do try. And then ultimately, see how you get on. Measure performance. If it's not working for you, do something different. Okay, let's look at today's training topic. Today's topic is benefits, something very close to my heart, versus features. And what I mean by that is thinking about things from a customer perspective rather than from your business, product, or service perspective. In other words, customer-focused propositions. So, what are benefits? Well, the definition of a benefit is an advantage or a profit gained from something. So, how do callers typically describe their benefits on the phone? And these are some of the examples that some of my customers give to me when I ask them, as part of the precursor to doing some calling or some training, tell me about your benefits. Tell me what you offer your customers. So, they offer a wide choice of products. We're great people to deal with. We offer professional advice. We have 24/7 support. We give flexible service. our products are really long lasting, and it's very easy to use our system. So those are some of the ways that callers describe the benefits. But the problem is that callers often confuse what they think are benefits with features. And the problem there is that customers don't buy features. They also sound commoditized because a lot of people say the same thing. A lot of callers say the same thing. A lot of literature says the same thing. Now, I'm not saying features aren't important, because features support and reinforce the benefits that you offer. But too often, telemarketers kick off the call in product terms, pitching their products and services rather than thinking about what the customer's needs are. And their opening gambit tends to focus on what the product or service is or does, rather than what the customer's issues or needs are. And then they compound things by talking about them in a fairly wishy-washy and uninspired way, using uninspiring language. So it's doubling the problem effectively. So what I'd urge you to think about is to consider the customers and understand why they buy, rather than what they buy, in other words, the products or services. And here's an example of one I found online. I really like this. We deal with a travel client, and I use this in some training for them. And it was just an online list of benefits for travel that I found. And I really like this. 5 benefits of travel. Now, what are they? Number 1, travel improves your social skills. It improves or reduces your stress levels. It helps you maybe accomplish your life goals. It makes you more flexible and perhaps teaches you to be more patient. Notice anything about all of those? They're all about you, the individual, you, the person, you, the prospect in some ways. Now, seeing sights is fantastic. That's what you get from traveling. But you could argue here that seeing the sights is a feature. The benefit of seeing the sights, let's take the one on the right for example, is that you perhaps will accomplish one of your life goals by seeing the pyramids. So remember, people don't buy what you do or offer, they buy what you and your services can do for them. And that's where you need to focus your attention when making calls, and that's where most callers go wrong. So let's look at that in a bit more detail. As I mentioned, telemarketers typically talk at their prospects about their products and services when they get on the phone. And they focus on what the product is or does. And therefore, what happens is the customer becomes almost irrelevant. They become incidental to what the caller has already decided to say before the call. And they're going to make sure they say everything that they've decided. And they therefore forget the why and focus on the what. And remember, prospects do not want to be told. Do you want to be sold and pitched at? I'm sure you don't. So why would you do that to a prospect when you're making your calls? And remember, every prospect is different. Let's just look at an example, staying with travel for a moment. Now, if you were a travel company and you were making outbound calls to generate new business, you might have any one of these 5 buyers who make decisions in the organization. Let's look on the right for a moment. The owner, maybe he owns a small management consultancy and they travel across Europe or internationally to do their business. What might the owner's issues be? Or the finance director, the guy above him, what might his issues be? Do you think they're the same? Well, certainly he wants to make sure that the bottom line is protected when the travellers are travelling, i.e. that they don't book off policy, for example. If policy is economy and too many of them are booking in club, then that's going to cost the business money and hit the bottom line. Now, the owner may be interested in that as well. On the left-hand side, you've got the PA. Now, she may make decisions about booking. She may centralise all the booking, and she's the person that's going to get it in the neck if something goes wrong. Or the travel manager at the bottom may be akin to purchasing or procurement. Now he needs to make sure you get the best service at the best price, and he may go out to tender. And his requirements maybe are not through the subtleties of the service, they may much more be around the functions of the service. Or finally, the traveller in the middle. He may be a self-booker, or he may be a person that relies on the PA or the travel manager to book for him. What does he want? Well, he doesn't want to get stuck in some far-flung place. He wants comfort. He wants his meals, the correct meals. He may have a halal or a kosher meal requirement, and he may want to sit in an aisle seat. Those are the things that bother him. He wants to get back safely. So if you're selling to these prospects, they're not all the same, they don't respond to the same things, and they're interested in different benefits of your products and services. Let's take a look at my own business for a moment, GSA Business Development, and let's imagine I'm making a call. Which one of these is stronger? I think you know the answer. Hi, I'm calling from GSA Business Development. We're suppliers of telemarketing and research services. The reason for my call today is to introduce our services to you and to see if you have any marketing needs. Or maybe what about this one? Hi, I'm calling from GSA. Look, I don't know if this is relevant for you, but we're doing a lot of work with SMEs at the minute who are struggling to build their sales pipeline and they need more new business. Again, I don't know if that's something you're finding, but have you got a minute? Which one of those is stronger, aside from the phone call in the middle of the pitch? Which one's stronger? Certainly number two. Yes, it's a bit long perhaps, but it's certainly more customer oriented and more pain based if you think of what I was saying earlier. And pain is key. If you've got pain or gain, which one's more compelling? I would argue it's pain. Because for example, if I said to you, you could improve your personal presentation through cosmetic dentistry to fix your teeth like the lady at the bottom, and that was to cost you £3,000, you might think that's a great idea, but you make a value judgment because you have 101 other things you could spend £3,000 on. You may not have £3,000, and in relative terms, how important is it? If the same issue were applied to a lady at the top who may have an abscess on her tooth, which is giving her so much pain she can't eat, she can't sleep, she can't function and work, but let's say the NHS couldn't see her for 6 months and she could get it done for £3,000, what do you think she might do? She might make the same value judgment, but she'd probably go for it. Therefore, pain-focused propositions are much more compelling than gain. So ask yourself, what problems, risks, challenges, etc. do you solve for your customer? What keeps them up at night? And then target those pain points in your intro and in what you say to them on the phone. And when you focus on your benefits, think about these as real benefits. So, just some from our customers, maybe reduce downtime on production. We've got a workwear supplier that offers Wellington boots for food manufacturing. So it may well be that by use of our boots, we reduce the risk of contamination. Perhaps we reduce slips and trips and accidents in the workplace that lead to claims for damages and people off work. Or we might avoid costly audits and censure through compliance by using our products and services. Or even save money by improving the product life cycle. Or provide a working environment that's safe for clients. Or on the bottom, drive down employee fatigue on the production lines and less downtime again. These are the kind of things that are real benefits based on pain. So remember, it's not about you or your products or services or business. It's very much about the customer. And ask yourself what's in it for them, and perhaps use the statement or ask the question, what does that mean for them? Which means that. So, before you go, what I'd urge you to do is have a consideration for the actions that you're going to take as a result of this webinar. Firstly, I'd suggest you write down 3 pain-based benefits of your products and services. So remember what's in it for the customer and think about the pains. and then test them out with your colleagues and role play and see how they sound. Do they sound good? Are they natural? Have a go. And then try them out as part of an intro on your next batch of calls. And if it's not working, change it. Well, thank you very much. That's the first webinar in our series. We hope you enjoyed it. Do please listen again and look out for second and third and the next webinars thereafter. Many thanks for listening. Bye-bye.